welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about some of my favorite 5-star reads. Some of these I've talked all about on this channel and I will never stop talking about them, and some of them it's been a while since I've read and I haven't talked about them too much, but I obviously have a lot of great books, a lot of 5-star reads, but these are some of the few that I wanted to talk to you guys about. So here are some of my favorite 5-star reads. The first book I want to talk about is The Art of Starving by Sam J. Miller. So trigger warnings for eating disorders, all of that stuff. That includes food, numbers, calories, all that stuff. Be aware of that before you go into this. Like, I read a lot of books now about eating disorders because I'm very interested in the subject, and this blew my mind. It is one of my all-time favorite ones. It was so freaking raw and real, and also one thing that I really enjoyed to see was that this book is about a guy instead of a girl, because the norm is that only girls get eating disorders. That's totally wrong. Eating disorders doesn't just go on gender, based on gender or skin color. It's just, it can affect anyone, and that's really important to know. So I loved that we finally follow a guy that is struggling with an eating disorder. So we follow Matt, and he has an eating disorder. He hasn't eaten in days, and he feels kind of that he gets powerful from not eating. And if you have ever struggled with an eating disorder, you know that that's the case. Like, you really do feel some sort of power, like you feel really powerful, and it's really hard to explain if you haven't been through it, but you really feel like you have superpowers and that you're the most powerful human being in the entire world. And it's obviously just your disease talking, and your disease trying to convince you of that. And you really follow Matt as he's struggling with that, and he feels really powerful, and he feels like he has superpowers when he doesn't eat. But yeah, I thought it was very raw and real, and super interesting that you finally follow a guy that's struggling with this. And please be aware of the trigger warnings before going into this, because it really delves a lot into detail about that kind of stuff. But I loved it, I tabbed it, I can't wait to reread it. It is truly an amazing book, and I love the representation. It was beautiful, magical, and all that I could have wanted in a book like this. The next book I want to talk about is, of course, Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. So honestly, this entire series, I think, but I want to talk about the first one because this is where it all starts. I have this one, and then I have the beautiful collector's editions also, but look at this cover, how cute. But we follow Anna, and she is going into her senior year, I believe, in high school, and she's got it all under control, and she's kind of happy with her life until her dad decides to send her to Paris to go her senior year there. At the, I think it is like an American school in Paris, so they speak English and stuff. And you know, she's really just like, whoa, what happened? Why are you sending me there? She doesn't really want to, which is like, yeah, who wouldn't want to go to Paris? But like, I understand. She has all of her friends at home and stuff, and her dad just decides to send her away. So we follow her at the American School of Paris, and that she's kind of starting to make friends, and then she meets this guy. I can't pronounce his name, I'm not even gonna try. This really cute and adorable guy that she starts to find an interest in, and we follow them. It's a really cute and beautiful love story, but also kind of like Anna's way trying to find herself in a new city, in a new country, in a new school. And it's just a really beautiful, fun, easy story to read. So if you're in a reading slump and you want something easy, fun, definitely pick this one up. Or if you're just looking for something super easy, super fun, super cheesy maybe, but I love it. I love it. Next book I want to talk about is Crave by Tracy Wolff. This is Crush, the second book, but I actually have Crave at a friend's house. She is borrowing it and reading it, so I'm gonna show you the second one, but I'm talking about Crave, the first one, the black one. So we follow Grace as I think she lost her parents, and she is moving in with her uncle who runs a boarding school in Alaska. She also has her cousin there that attends the boarding school and lives there, and Grace soon discovers that the boarding school isn't all normal. Weird things are going on, supernatural things are going on, and if you love Twilight, I would definitely recommend it. I think it's a more fun, quirky teen version of Twilight. I think it's definitely more fun than Twilight. Like, has a lot of fun moments, very easy to read, the language is very easy, the writing style is super great. You follow Grace and her friends and all of these different creatures. They're not just vampires, there are a ton of different creatures, and it's really cool to see. You also have kind of a love story, love triangle, just as in Twilight, and I had a great time with it. I read the entire series except the last one. I don't know if it's come out yet, but I loved it all. I just thought it was a really fun, easy story that's yeah, I really enjoyed it. The next book is actually a graphic novel, and that is Bloom by Kevin Panetta and Savannah Ganushi. So in here we follow Ari, I believe his name is, who his family has like a bakery, like the family business bakery, and his family is kind of expecting Ari to take over after school and all that stuff when he graduates, but Ari just wants to leave town. He wants to go far away, explore new things, see new things, meet new people. He doesn't want to stay at his family business baking. So the family needs to like get new people working at the bakery. So they're looking for people, and then Hector comes along looking for a job because he loves baking, and Hector and Ari kind of get a connection. You follow them as they kind of get closer to each other, and it's a beautiful friends romance story about these two guys, and just really wholesome. I loved it. I think the pictures are really beautiful. It has this like blue stylish, kind of like the first Twilight movie, that vibe of the pictures, and it's just a really beautiful, inspirational, cute story about these two and how to also kind of find yourself, because they're because they are struggling with what teenagers do. You know, what do we do after graduating high school? What's there more to life? What are we gonna do? And it's just truly inspirational and truly beautiful, so please pick this one up. So the next book I'm gonna talk about is We Are the Ants by Sean David Hutchinson. I think I mentioned Sean David Hutchinson in one of my other videos that I loved him. This was my first book I read by him, and I was amazed. It has been too long though, so I can't remember too much. I need to reread this, but I know I loved it. I know I was amazed. I know when I closed this book, I was in awe. Like, I know that. All I know is we follow Henry, I believe, and he's kind of struggling with life. His mother is sick. No, his grandmother is sick. His boyfriend committed suicide. His mother is trying as hard as she can to provide for the family, and it's just a really difficult life. And then Henry gets abducted by aliens, and it's just, that sounds weird, but I need to reread it to explain better, because I can't remember if that is in his dreams or if that's actually happening. If that is some sort of coping mechanism for his, since he's struggling so much in life, if that might be a coping mechanism, that he's being abducted by aliens is kind of something that his head is putting together to survive, or if that's really happening. I can't tell you. I know I just really enjoyed it and it was really cool, but I definitely need to reread it to understand it better. I think I also read this for the first time when it was like when I was first got into reading books in English, so I don't think maybe I understood it correctly. I don't know. I need to reread it so I can explain it better, but I know I loved it. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars without even thinking about it. I know I tabbed it, but I definitely want to reread it, and I'll definitely do a reading vlog on it because I want to. And yeah, I just know that I loved it. It was very cool, very unique, very odd, but in a good way, you know? The next book, please don't be mad at me. I know I'm never gonna shut up about this book. You're probably like, I've talked about it so much, so I don't even know why I'm including it, but I just had to include it. I'm sorry if you're tired of me talking about it. I'm sorry, but it is Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. This book, you guys, I can't explain how much I loved it. We follow Kaya and her family that lives in the bush, like in South Carolina, North Carolina, in the marsh, and we follow as she's a really young girl until she's all grown up, and she has some shit going on in her life, and it's really sad and heartbreaking to read about, but also very beautiful and inspirational. So Kaya is just a little girl when her family leaves her, and she's all alone to take care of herself, to feed herself, to grow up, to be a woman on her own. And it's really heartbreaking, obviously, but she is determined to be something with her life, do something with her life, and she has this reputation as the marsh girl. People don't really like her, people think she's weird, people think she's very odd, but no one really knows her. She's a very beautiful and intelligent woman who has a love for the marsh. She's dreaming about writing books about the marsh. That's what she want to do. We also have a little bit of a love story in here, and it's just a truly beautiful book, mostly about Kaya, how she grew up on her own, how she took care of herself on her own, and how she, despite all she's been through, she created an amazing life for herself. So wow, truly amazing, beautiful book. If you haven't read this, please pick it up. I know I'm constantly talking about this, but like, it's so beautiful. It's probably my favorite book of the year, one of them at least. I'm not lying. It was so good. I'm out of words, like I don't know how to explain it better. Next up we have Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas. Penelope Douglas is a queen, love her. And here we follow Misha and Ryan, who has been pen pals for a long time, many years, and because like the school paired them up, they live in different cities and different schools. They kind of been pen pals, not really, never meeting each other, just having this connection through letters. So years pass, they are still pen pals, and then one day Misha just stops replying. It doesn't do it anymore, and Ryan can't understand why, what's going on. They have never met each other. They made this promise that they were just gonna write these letters to each other. They weren't gonna look each other up online, so they don't know how they look, but they have this beautiful connection via letters. They know everything about each other, just not how they look like. And then Misha stops replying, and Ryan is just like, why, after all of these years? And then a new guy comes along into Ryan's school. They end up meeting, and it's not good in the beginning. It's not good, but it turns out to be good, and it's really spicy, it's really hot, it's really nice. I just love the fact that they had this connection via letters first. You know, they kind of got to know each other without the face, the body. I just love that. And so they know each other at this really deep level, and it's just a really spicy, hot, steamy book, but also really beautiful, and I just loved it. I love Penelope Douglas. I will love more books following Misha and Ryan because there's just something about it. Love it. Please read it. The last book I'm going to talk about, I've also talked about a lot. I'm sorry, I just needed to have it in here. It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. Colleen Hoover is also a queen. Love her. But here we follow Lily, who is kind of tired of her job. She has like a degree, and I don't really remember what it was, but she's tired of her job. She wants to open a flower shop. That's her dream, and she kind of just want to do her own thing. And life is going good for her. She's chasing her dreams, and then this what seems to be a perfect guy comes along, Wild. He's all she's ever imagined. He's handsome, he's nice, he's, you know, everything. And they kind of hit it off like really fast. It went really fast, their relationship. And after a while, Lily finds out that Wild is not what she expected, and this is not what true love is supposed to look like. Because when Lily was younger, her mother and father were fighting a lot, and you know, her father hit her mother, and she saw that, she heard that when she was little, so she knows what love, it's not supposed to look like that. And she kind of finds out that after a while with Wild. And then we also have Atlas coming along, which is actually like a former love of Lily. Atlas and Lily had a really beautiful thing going on when they were younger, like really young kids. They were like their first everything, their first love, their first time together. And then Atlas had to move, so they haven't seen each other in a while. But then one day when Lily and Ryle is at a restaurant eating, Atlas happens to be there working at this restaurant, and he sees them together, and he's also realizing what's going on, what Ryle is doing to Lily, and he's not happy about it. And it's such a beautiful story, but also like I cried. I've never cried in a book, I think, until I read this one. It was really heartbreaking, really sad at times, but it's overall so beautiful and so important. I loved it so much. A truly, truly beautiful story about what true love really is supposed to look like, because you can be fooled, you can, you know, there's a lot of shit out there. And oh, it was so beautiful, and I'm wanting to do a video where I reread this, and when I tab it and annotate it, because I didn't do that the first time around. Probably will be in the spring, summertime, because that's the vibe for this book, I think. I loved it. It was such a good book. Please read it, but just be prepared to cry, because I cried. I cried at the last word in the book, I think. I'm not gonna tell you what it is, but it was so beautiful. I loved it. Yeah, that was it for some of my favorite 5-star reads. I'm pleased to say that I love these so much. If you have read any of these, please let me know. If you're wanting to read any of these, please let me know. Or if you read any of these and didn't like them, that's also interesting. Let me know. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in one of my next videos. Bye.